So back in July of 2025, I had a friend who needed a PC for where they were staying at the moment. Recently, that PC started to give out problems, and these problems consisted of Windows abruptly dying on them, as memory slots deciding to just stop functioning, and a CPU memory controller possibly going out. Why could this problem be happening? Where could this problem begin from? Even if it's your CPU controller, like the memory controller, how does this even happen? So, usually, if there's a bent pin on the motherboard, and I mean, let's say you move around this PC, the CPU slightly moved, or maybe it wasn't like crazy in the beginning, or now it's not contacting. Uh, Maybe a trace problem. Maybe somehow the trace got messed up. Or the IMC degradation. It's not really that possible, but IMC failure could be bad for memory. So, I also failed to mention that they no longer have Wi Fi. Um, and so, how is this problem fixed? Usually it's getting a new CPU. CPUs like the i5 10600T would be like in the midst of $30-$40, depending on where you get them. They shouldn't be relatively expensive. Again, if you get them on eBay and you try to get at a good deal. Or if the 10400 is what you're looking for, then that also would be a very, very low for pricing on eBay. But I just wanted to talk about it because it was kind of weird. He got this weird Windows error. I'll tell you what it is. IRQL not less or equal, which basically means memory corruption, or kernel drivers, stuff like that, hardware. You know, I think it's the CPU. From my PC, like knowing, I've dealt with PCs for over 10 years. They're pretty much your CPU could very well go out. Motherboards usually go out pretty fast. CPUs don't. CPU usually lasts long unless you're AMD and you got bent pins. So I don't know. That's all I'm saying.